something terrible happened to the man while he was hunting. He saw a brown bear suddenly charging at him from behind. He had no time to react before being knocked to the ground. Facing this 1,000-pound beast, he had no ability to fight back. He could only scream while being torn apart. But the sound only further stimulated the monster. The sharp bear claws ripped every inch of skin on his body. The intense pain left him unable to scream, and that instead made the brown bear calm down. However, this terrifying nightmare was not over. The bear stepped on his body. Its paw pressed against the man's head. But no matter how much it hurt this time, he could only hold his breath and dare not make a sound. After a long torment, the bear thought the prey was already dead. It roared violently to declare its territory, then ran toward the bear cub. Nick endured the severe pain and crawled aside, struggling to pick up the hunting rifle on the ground. He knew the brown bear would not leave so quickly, which meant he was still in danger. However, the intense pain also made him weak, but he knew this was his only chance. At this moment, the brown bear wandered back over the gunshot enraged the beast again. Although the bullet hit the bear's body, it was not enough to be fatal. Instead, it made it even more furious. Nick was once again mercilessly ravaged. It frantically tore at his back until it grabbed him and flung him several meters away. The prey once again showed no reaction. Nick held his breath and played dead, but the brown bear still refused to let him go. It violently flipped Nick over and began confirming again whether the prey was alive. The bear panted violently and would not leave. Nick took the chance to pull out his knife. When it launched another attack at him, Nick seized the opportunity to fight back. With the sharp knife stabbing several times, the brown bear could no longer hold on. Although he successfully killed the beast, Nick would never have imagined this was only the beginning of his nightmare. No one knew how much time had passed before his teammates finally found him. When they worked together to push the bear away, they were stunned by what they saw. Nick's throat was spraying blood outward, and his back had deep claw wounds. They could hardly imagine how a person survived this. Someone believed such wounds would not last an hour. However, Nick relied on his strong will to live and forced himself to survive the night. But the team could not stop because of him, because the local natives were the greatest threat. Early the next morning, the team set out again. Only by returning to their own camp would they be safe. Nick was carried on a stretcher. Although it greatly slowed the team's speed, his teammates admired his strong will to live. Not a single one was willing to abandon him. However, as the snow under their feet grew thicker, the team moved slower and slower. But the snowy mountain ahead, they simply could not climb. The two scouts returned to report. Due to a collapse ahead, they were forced to take a detour. The captain made a difficult decision. He ordered someone to cover Nick's eyes. If they continued carrying him, it would undoubtedly drag down the whole team. But in the end, he could not do it. A kind young man and Nick's son volunteered to stay. In addition, the captain took out gold coins and left an experienced old hunter behind. If Nick truly could not make it, he hoped to give him a decent burial. However, after only one night, the old hunter impatiently began digging a grave. But 3 days passed in the blink of an eye, and Nick was still holding on. He made an excuse to send the two young men away, then came to Nick's side, saying, "If you keep holding on, you will kill your own son." The man decided to give him a dignified end, but at that moment the son returned. He raised his rifle and asked why the man was doing this, but unexpectedly the rifle was snatched away, and the old hunter pulled out a knife and stabbed the son to death. Nick witnessed everything with his own eyes, but because his throat had been torn, he could not make any sound. He could only watch as his son was dragged away. When the other boy returned, he also found the son missing, but the old hunter told him he had just seen Indians not far away. If they did not leave, they would be beheaded. After saying that, he dragged Nick into the pit. The old hunter decided to leave him here to fend for himself. The boy had no choice, so he left his canteen for Nick.